everybody, it's Mary Gardner, the Charisma Coach, and today we're talking about going from being an introvert to an influencer. Well, I think we can all agree we're living in a world of chaos, and there's never been a better time for someone to be able to get a strategy and stand up and stand out and to become that leader. We need leaders with integrity who are willing to stand up. So hopefully this is you today, and we're going to chat a little bit about what it will take. So maybe it hasn't been your time until now. Well, rather than ask, why not? Why don't you ask yourself these questions instead to become an influencer? Do you need to make better, real connections with other people? Or can you make better relationships with other people? How about this? Do you want to stop sitting on the sidelines? And do you have the desire to stand up and to be an influencer? And lastly, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you coachable? That's the key question that I ask clients. Are you coachable? Because sometimes it takes strategies that you've never done, and it takes a little courage, let's face it. But I truly do believe that your stage is waiting if you're willing to do it. And I really, truly believe that it is a time right now to stand up and to stand out. People have ADD, let's face it. And so if you're willing to put in the work, I can promise you can take that quantum leap. So there are a couple of strategies that people that I've worked with before that have stood in your shoes thinking, oh, I wish I could do it. And they implemented these strategies, and I can promise you, it happens. People will start to notice, people will start to ask you to lead meetings and to show up strong. And so let me give you those 3 tips. The very first thing is that you need internal advocates. I've known people who didn't get promotions, and when they asked why, it was because they may have worked really hard, but they did not have internal advocates. So how do you go about getting internal advocates? If you've been busy in the workforce doing your job, well, it's a strategy. You need to start taking time to get to know people that are above you, the bosses, people that are your peers, and people that work under you or in other departments, and get to know their names, get to know their kids. What do they do for fun? And make these people social friends. Not that you're going to hang out with them after work all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you call up Marge and say, Marge, how are the kids? Oh, that's great. Hey, do you happen to have that contract ready for me? All right, so that's what I'm talking about. Getting to know people at your firm, at your company, and them getting to know you. And if you can be a coach and a mentor to other people, people will recognize that. It's a brilliant strategy. So start to reach out and get to know people. Next, show up at meetings prepared. I know so many people that show up, they wing it, they listen, they take notes, but the strategy here is to show up and become involved and join places where you can be seen at meetings. If there are national organizations or within your company, like a team meeting, maybe they're planning a conference or something like that, join the meeting and then take time to get to know everybody on the board, have individual meetings, and then when you show up at the meeting, bring paper and bring stories, bring metaphors, bring any information that will be valuable and relevant to the team. This is a great strategy, and I have had my introverts that I've worked with stand up at this point and start taking control of the meetings and bringing energy. And you've got to bring energy. You've got to bring passion. Don't be bored at meetings. A lot of people just bring in their notebook and sit there and whatever. But meetings are a place where you can show a lot and exert a lot of energy. And again, I think after you start to do that, people will recognize it and you'll be leading those really big meetings. And lastly, take on the challenge of presenting in public. Now we know public speaking is one of the biggest fears of all people, but this is a biggie. But I coach so many people that never had spoken before, and they got a goal together. They started practicing, they got coaching, and they became successful. So this is something, if you can stand up in front of an audience, you have more credibility and instant credibility. So even if it's presenting at your company, that's fine. Do it and do it often. And again, get coaching. It really, really will help. So a communication pro, someone like myself or a local class or something like that, it will help you. So, taking this quantum leap in your career is going to be a series of multiple challenges. And having a goal and a vision of where you want to go is really important. And then each time you set a goal and you overcome the goal, you're going to feel fantastic. And it's a series of these little successes that are going to make that quantum leap. And I promise you, before long, people will say, what happened to him or what happened to her? Because you will be standing on stage while they're watching you from the audience. If you have any questions at all about public speaking, executive presence, or communication, please message me. And if you have any information or if you want any information of our upcoming speaker boot camp, message us. I'll get on Zoom with you. We'll talk. And I would love to be a support to you as you go from introvert to influencer. Thank you so much and have a great day.